The ice drill made a loud noise as it cut through the frozen ground. Dr. Una Park watched the machine work from inside the warm shelter. She pulled her thick coat closer around her body. The cold air of Cathara Prime made her breath turn into white clouds. How much deeper do we need to go? Asked Dr. Minho Kim. He was looking at the computer screen that showed how deep they had gone. The numbers kept getting bigger. The scans show something large about 50 meters down, Una said. She pointed to the strange shapes on her scanner. It looks like metal or stone. But the readings are different from anything we have seen before. Captain. Jiho Lee walked into the shelter. Snow covered his dark uniform. The Vulcan ships are getting impatient, he said. Commander Thek wants to know why we are taking so long. Una did not like Commander Thek. The alien leader had 6 arms and spoke in a voice that sounded like metal scraping against stone. He thought humans were too slow and too careful. But this dig was important. The builders had left things buried all over the galaxy. Most of them did not work anymore. But sometimes they found something special. Tell the commander we need more time, Una said. Good science cannot be rushed. The drill suddenly stopped making noise. The worker outside shouted something. Una ran out of the shelter with Minho and Jiho following her. The cold air hit her face like a wall. We hit something, said the drill operator. He was a young man named Sunho who had worked on many digs. Before, the drill will not go any deeper. Una looked down into the deep hole they had made. She could see something shiny at the bottom. It looked like glass or crystal. But it was huge. Much bigger than any builder artifact they had found before. Get the ropes, she said. I am going down. That might not be safe, Jiho said. We do not know what is down there. That is why I need to see it, Una said. She put on her climbing gear. The ropes were strong and would keep her safe. She had done this many times before. Going down into the hole was like entering another world. The walls were made of ice that had been frozen for millions of years. Strange colors moved through the ice like trapped rainbows. As she got closer to the bottom, she could see the thing more clearly. It was not just big, it was massive. The crystal thing looked like an animal, like an elephant but much larger. It had 4 thick legs and a long nose that curved upward. But everything was made of clear crystal that looked like ice. She could see right through it. What do you see? Minho called down from above. You need to come down here, Una said. Her voice shook with excitement. All of you need to see this. One by one, the team climbed down into the hole. Even Commander Thek came down with his 6 arms moving carefully on the ropes. When everyone was at the bottom, they all stood quiet for a long time. The crystal mammoth was 40 meters tall. That was as big as a building. Its body was made of perfect clear crystal. Inside the crystal, Una could see lines that looked like lightning frozen in place. The lines made patterns that seemed to move when she looked at them. This is builder work, Commander Thek said. His metal voice echoed in the ice cave. But I have never seen anything like this before. None of us have, said Dr. Keiko Tanaka, the team's builder expert. She was from Earth like Una and Minho, but she had studied builder artifacts for 20 years. The crystal structure is perfect. No breaks, no damage. It is like it was made yesterday. Minho was taking pictures with his camera. The flash made the crystal mammoth shine with bright light. The patterns inside are amazing, he said. They look like writing. Or maybe star maps. Una walked closer to the mammoth. She put her hand on its front leg. The crystal was not cold like she expected. It felt warm, almost alive. Any energy readings? She asked. Sunho checked his machines. Nothing. It is completely dead. No power. No signals, nothing. This was normal for builder artifacts. They had been dead for millions of years. The builders were gone, and no one knew how to make their technology work again. Every race in the galaxy had tried. The Vulcans had spent hundreds of years studying builder sites. So had the humans and dozens of other species. Nothing ever worked, but this mammoth felt different to Yuna. She could not explain why. When she touched it, something inside her chest felt warm, like the feeling she got when she listened to her favorite music. "We need to set up a base here," she said. "This will take weeks to study properly." Commander Deck made a noise that sounded like anger. "Weeks? The High Command will not wait that long for results." "Then they can wait somewhere else," Yuna said. She was not afraid of the alien commander. "This is the most important builder find in 50 years, maybe in history. We are not leaving until we understand it." Jiho stepped between them. "We can compromise," he said. "Set up the base for 2 weeks. If we find nothing useful by then, we pack up and leave." Commander Deck thought about this. His 6 arms moved in patterns that meant he was considering the idea. 2 weeks, he finally said. No longer. That night, as the team set up their base around the crystal mammoth, Yuna could not sleep. She kept thinking about the warm feeling when she touched the crystal. She kept looking at the patterns inside the mammoth's body. They seemed to glow softly in the dark. She did not know it yet, but the mammoth was already changing her. Deep in her dreams, ancient songs were starting to wake up. Songs that had been sleeping for millions of years, waiting for someone who could hear them. The crystal mammoth stood silent in the ice cave, but it was not as dead as everyone thought. It was listening. It was waiting. And soon, it would remember how to sing. 5 days had passed since they found the crystal mammoth. The team had built a small camp around the huge creature. Their tents and machines looked tiny next to the 40-meter-tall crystal beast. Yuna was not sleeping well. Every night, strange dreams filled her mind. She heard music that sounded like nothing she had ever heard before. The melodies were beautiful but sad. They seemed to come from far away, like voices calling across a great distance dotting her dreams. She saw stars and planets she did not recognize. She saw tall beings with long faces and hands that glowed with soft light. They were building something important, but she could never see what it was. When she tried to get closer in the dream, she would wake up. "You look terrible," Minho said during breakfast. He was eating hot soup from a metal cup. "When did you last sleep through the night?" "I sleep fine," Yuna lied. She did not want to tell him about the dreams. He would think she was getting sick from the cold or the stress of the dig. "The dark circles under your eyes say something different," Minho said. "Maybe you should take some sleep medicine." Dr. Tanaka looked up from her computer. The scans still show nothing. No energy, no movement, no response to any of our tests. This mammoth is as dead as a rock. Commander Vek walked into their eating area. His 6 arms carried different tools and machines. "My team has tried everything," he said. Heat, cold, electricity, sound waves, light beams. "Nothing makes this thing respond. It is useless. Give it more time," Yuna said. But even she was starting to feel hopeless. They had 1 week left before Commander Vek would make them leave. That night, the dreams came again. But this time they were stronger. Yuna could hear the music more clearly. It sounded like a woman singing, but the words were in a language that did not exist anymore. The voice was calling to her, asking her to come closer. Yuna woke up, but she was not in her tent. She was standing next to the crystal mammoth in the middle of the night. Her bare feet were on the cold ice floor. She was wearing only her sleeping clothes. "What am I doing here?" she whispered to herself. She looked. Around, the camp was quiet. Everyone else was asleep. The only light came from the small lamps they had set up around the mammoth. In the dim light, the crystal creature looked almost alive. Yuna put her hand on the mammoth's leg again. The warm feeling came back, stronger than before. For just a moment, she thought she saw something move inside the crystal. Like a flash of light deep in the mammoth's chest. "Did you see that?" she said to the empty cave. The next morning, she did not tell anyone about her midnight walk. But Jiho had seen something on the security cameras. "Yuna," he said, pulling her aside after breakfast, "we need to talk." He showed her the video on his small screen. She could see herself walking out of her tent at 2 in the morning. She moved, like she was still asleep, with slow, strange steps. She walked straight to the mammoth and stood there for almost an hour. "I do not remember any of this," Yuna said. She felt scared and confused. "That is not the strange part," Jiho said. He pointed to the screen. "Watch what happens when you get close to the mammoth." On the video, Yuna could see herself touching the crystal leg. Then something amazing happened. Tiny lights began to glow inside the mammoth's body. They were very faint, but they were definitely there. The lights moved along the lightning-like patterns inside the crystal. "The energy sensors picked up something too," Jiho said. "Very weak, but it was there. This mammoth responded to you." Yuna stared at the screen. "But I was asleep. I do not understand." "Neither do I, but we need to tell the others." When they showed the video to the team, everyone had different ideas about what it meant. "Maybe humans have something special that makes builder artifacts work," Minho said. "Our brainwaves or body heat or something like that." Dr. Tanaka was not sure. "We have tested human presence before. Nothing ever happened with other builder artifacts." Commander Thek was angry. "Why did you not tell us about this sleepwalking before? You could have damaged the artifact." "I did not know I was doing it," Yuna said. "That night they set up cameras and sensors all around Yuna's tent. If she walked in her sleep again, they would be ready to record everything." She tried to stay awake, but the dreams were too strong. The singing voice called to her again. This time, she could almost understand some of the words. They sounded like they were about waiting and hoping and calling for help. When she woke up, she was next to the mammoth again. But this time something was different. She could hear humming. A soft musical sound was coming from her own throat. She was making the music from her dreams. The moment she realized what she was doing, the humming stopped. But the mammoth's eyes, 2 large blue gems, at the front of its crystal head, flickered with light for just a second. "Did you see that?" Minho's voice came from behind her. The whole team was watching from a safe distance. All their cameras and machines were recording. "The eyes lit up," Dr. Tanaka said. "Just for a moment, but they definitely lit up." "Commander." That was quiet for a long time. Then he said something that surprised everyone. "We stay longer. Cancel the departure order. This changes everything." Yuna looked up at the crystal mammoth's face. The blue gem eyes were dark now, but she knew they had been alive for that one moment. The mammoth was not dead. It was sleeping. And somehow her dreams were starting to wake it up, but she still did not understand why. What made her special? Why was she the only one who could make the mammoth respond? And what was the voice in her dreams trying to tell her? The answers would come soon. But first, she had to learn to sing the ancient songs while she was awake. 3 more days passed. The team watched Yuna carefully every night. Each time she walked in her sleep, the crystal mammoth responded a little more. The lights inside its body grew brighter. The blue gem eyes flickered longer. Strange patterns began to glow along its crystal tusks. During the day, Yuna tried to make the mammoth respond while she was awake. She hummed the melodies from her dreams. She sang old songs her grandmother had taught her. She even tried making the same movements she did in her sleep. Nothing worked. "It only responds when you are unconscious," Minho said. He was looking at all the data they had collected. "Your brain works differently when you sleep. Maybe that is the key." Dr. Tanaka had a different idea. What if the mammoth is teaching you the songs in your dreams? What if it is putting the music into your mind while you sleep? This made Yuna feel strange. "You mean it is controlling my dreams?" "Not controlling, Dr. Tanaka said, communicating. The builders were very advanced. Maybe they found a way to speak to us through dreams. Commander Thek was talking to his superiors on the Vulcan home world. Yuna could hear him arguing with them through his communication device. The Vulcan leaders wanted to know why the mission was taking so long. They were getting impatient. Tell them about the discovery, Jiho suggested. I cannot, Commander Thek said. If the High Command learns that humans can activate builder technology, they will want to control your people. Or destroy you. This scared Yuna. She had not thought about what would happen if other alien races learned about her special connection to the Mammoth. Would they try to hurt humans? Would they try to use humans as tools to activate other builder artifacts? We need to be careful who we tell about this, she said. That night, something new happened. Yuna's dreams were clearer than ever before. She could see the tall builder beings more clearly. They had large eyes that held great sadness. They were dying, and they knew it. But they were not giving up. She watched them create the crystal mammoth. They were not just building a statue. They were putting their memories and knowledge inside. The crystal. The mammoth was like a library, but instead of books, it held the thoughts and experiences of an entire civilization. The builder beings were singing as they worked. Their song was the same melody Yuna heard in her dreams. But now, she understood what it meant. It was not just music. It was a key. A way to unlock the mammoth's secrets. When she woke up, she was humming the song again. But this time, she did not stop when she became conscious. She kept humming, and the mammoth kept responding. The lights inside its body grew bright enough to light up the entire cave. Keep going, Minho whispered. Do not stop, Yuna hummed louder. The melody came naturally now, like a song she had known all her life. The mammoth's eyes began to glow with steady blue light. The lightning patterns inside its crystal body started to move, flowing like water. Then something incredible happened. The mammoth moved. It was just a small movement. The crystal head turned slightly, looking down at Yuna. But it was definitely movement. The 40-meter-tall creature was alive. Impossible, Dr. Tanaka breathed. The mammoth's trunk, made of clear crystal, began to lower toward Yuna. She was not afraid. The creature felt gentle, like a friend she had known for a long time. But as the trunk got closer, Yuna felt dizzy. The humming became harder to maintain. She was getting tired. The song was using up all her energy. I cannot keep this up much longer, she said. The mammoth seemed to understand. It lifted its trunk away from her and became still again. The lights faded. The eyes went dark. But something had changed. The mammoth was no longer completely dead. It was just sleeping, waiting for Yuna to sing to it again. Commander Thek was very quiet. He stared at the mammoth for a long time. Then he said, "We have a problem. My sensors are picking up signals from other builder sites across the galaxy. They are all sending out the same frequency pattern." "What does that mean?" Jiho asked. "It means this mammoth is not alone. There are others like it. And your human friend here just sent them a wake-up call." Yuna felt her heart beating fast. How many others? Commander Thek checked his equipment. The signals are coming from 12 different star systems, maybe more. The network is spreading. Dr. Tanaka was excited. This is the discovery of the century. We could learn everything about the builders. Their technology, their history, their science. But Commander Thek looked worried. Other races will detect these signals soon. When they do, they will come looking for the source. And when they find out that humans can activate builder technology, they will want to control your species. "What should we do?" Yuna asked. "We need to understand this mammoth completely before anyone else arrives," Minho said. "Yuna, you need to sing to it again. Learn everything you can." Yuna nodded. She was scared, but she knew this was important. The mammoth held secrets that could change the galaxy, but she was the only one who could unlock them. "Tonight," she said, "when I sleep, I will try to stay connected to the mammoth longer. Maybe I can learn to control the dreams." As the team prepared for another night of testing, none of them knew that ships were already traveling toward their location. The Vulcan. High Command had detected the signals. So had the Terran Space Force, and several other alien governments. The crystal mammoth had been sleeping for millions of years. But now it was waking up, and the entire galaxy was about to change. Yuna's dreams that night were different from all the others. Instead of just hearing the Builder songs, she was living the Builder memories. She could see their world as it used to be, millions of years ago. The Builder planet was beautiful. Cities, made of crystal and light, stretched across continents. The Builder people lived in harmony with their world. They did not destroy or pollute. They created things that made life better for everyone. But something terrible was coming. Yuna could feel their fear. A great darkness was spreading across the galaxy, destroying everything in its path. The Builders knew they could not stop it. They were peaceful people who had never learned to fight, so they made a different choice. They would save their knowledge and memories. They would put everything they had learned into crystal creatures. Like the mammoth. These creatures would sleep until someone found them and sang the awakening songs. But the Builders had a problem. Who would be able to sing the songs? Their music was not just sound. It was connected to emotion and consciousness. It required a special kind of mind to understand. They searched the galaxy for a species that could one day awaken their crystal guardians. They found a small blue planet with young creatures who made music together. These creatures sang when they were happy, when they were sad, when they were in love, when they were afraid. Music was part of their souls. The creatures were early humans. The Builders visited Earth in secret. They studied human music and human emotions. They learned how human minds worked. Then they designed their crystal creatures to respond to human consciousness. They were betting that humans would one day spread across the galaxy and find the sleeping guardians. When Yuna woke up from this dream, she understood everything. The mammoth was not just a Builder artifact. It was a gift meant specifically for humans. The Builders had died millions of years ago, but they had trusted humanity to carry on their legacy. She was humming again, but this time the song was different. It was fuller, richer, more complex. The mammoth responded immediately. Its entire body began to glow with warm light. The crystal became so bright that everyone in the camp woke up. "What is happening?" Minho shouted as he ran out of his tent. Mammoth was standing up. All four of its crystal legs were moving, lifting the massive creature to its full height. Its head touched the ceiling of the ice cave. The lightning patterns inside its body were flowing like rivers of light. For the first time, the mammoth spoke. Not with words, but with thoughts that appeared directly in everyone's minds. "Thank you for awakening me." The mammoth's voice was gentle and ancient. "I have been waiting so long for your species to find me." Commander Thek fell backward in surprise. "It is talking. The artifact is talking." "I am not an artifact," the Jin Tizifuk the Diko. Mammoth said. "I am Keeper Valen, last guardian of the Builder civilization. I hold within me the memories and knowledge of my people." Dr. Tanaka was shaking with excitement. "This is incredible. We are talking to a Builder, a real Builder." "My people are gone," Keeper Valen said. "But we hoped that your species would one day inherit our gifts. We studied your ancestors long ago. We saw that humans have something special. You create music not just for sound, but for feeling. You sing because you need to express what is in your hearts." Yuna stepped closer to the glowing mammoth. "Why did you choose us?" "Because you understand that knowledge without compassion is dangerous," Keeper Valen replied. "Your species makes mistakes, but you learn from them. You feel guilt when you hurt others. You celebrate when you help others. This is why we trust you with our legacy." The Mammoth projected images into the air. Holographic star maps appeared, showing the locations of other crystal guardians across the galaxy. There were dozens of them. Some looked like mammoths, others like different creatures. Each one held different kinds of builder knowledge. Each guardian holds part of our civilization, Keeper Valen explained. Technology, history, art, science, philosophy. Together, they contain everything we learned in 1,000,000 years of existence. Minho was recording everything with his camera. How do we awaken the other guardians? Only humans can sing them awake, Keeper Valen said. But each guardian requires a different song. The songs must be learned through dreams, as this human learned mine. Suddenly, alarms began ringing throughout the camp. Jiho was looking at his communication equipment with a worried expression. "Ships are approaching," he announced. "Multiple ships from different species. They will be here in less than 2 hours." Commander Thek was talking rapidly into his communication device. "The Vulcan High Command has sent a battle fleet. They want to secure this site. The Terran Space Force is coming too," Jiho added. "And I am detecting ships from at least 3 other alien civilizations." Keeper Valen's crystal body flickered with alarm. This is what we feared. If the wrong people gain control of Builder technology, it could be used for destruction instead of creation. "What should we do?" Yuna asked. "You must choose," Keeper Valen said. "I can transfer my knowledge to your mind, but it will change you forever. You will become the first human guardian of Builder wisdom. Or I can hide again, sleep until a safer time." Yuna looked around at her team. Minho nodded encouragingly. Dr. Tanaka looked hopeful. Even Commander Thek seemed to think she should accept, but Jiho looked worried. "If you accept this, you will become the most important person in the galaxy. Every government will want to control you. Your life will never be normal again." "My life stopped being normal the moment I started dreaming Builder songs," Yuna said. Sound of approaching ships grew louder. Through the cave entrance, they could see lights in the sky. The galaxy's major powers were coming to claim the Crystal Mammoth. "I accept," Yuna said. "But not just for humans. For everyone who needs this knowledge to make their lives better." Keeper Valen's crystal body began to glow brighter than ever before. "Then let us begin. But first, you must sing the final awakening song. The song that will connect you to all the guardians across the galaxy." Yuna took a deep breath. She could feel the melody forming in her mind. It was the most beautiful and complex song she had ever heard. As she began to sing, she knew there was no turning back. The Crystal Mammoth prepared to transfer millions of years of knowledge to a young human scientist who just wanted to understand the universe a little better. The first ships landed outside the cave as Yuna began the final awakening song. The melody was unlike anything she had ever sung before. It seemed to come from deep inside her soul, as if she had known it all her life, but had just forgotten it. Until now, Keeper Valen's crystal body became so bright that it lit up the entire ice cave like daylight. The lightning patterns inside the mammoth moved faster and faster, creating beautiful spirals of light. "Yuna, stop singing," Commander Thek shouted. "The Vulcan forces are demanding that you step away from the artifact." But Yuna could not stop. The song had taken control of her voice. She was connected to the mammoth now, and breaking the connection could damage both of them. "Let her finish," Jiho said. He was pointing his weapon toward the cave entrance. "I will not let anyone interrupt this. You cannot fight an entire battle fleet," Commander Thek warned. "Maybe not," Jiho replied, "but I can try." Outside, they could hear voices shouting in different alien languages. The Vulcan soldiers wanted to secure the site. The Terran Space Force wanted to protect their human citizen. Other alien forces wanted to claim the Builder artifact for themselves, Dr. Tanaka was reading the energy levels on her instruments. The Mammoth is connecting to something. The power readings are going off the scale. She was right. Keeper Valen was not just transferring his knowledge to Yuna. He was connecting her to the entire network of crystal guardians across the galaxy. Through the song, Yuna could feel other mammoth-like creatures waking up on distant planets. In her mind, she could see them all. A crystal dragon on a desert world. A crystal whale floating in the gas clouds of a giant planet. A crystal bird perched on a mountain top under twin suns. Dozens of guardians, each one holding different pieces of builder wisdom. I can see them all, Yuna whispered, still singing. They are waking up because of the song. The knowledge began flowing into her mind. Not just facts and data, but understanding. She learned about energy sources that could power entire civilizations without harming their planets. She learned about medical techniques that could cure diseases that had plagued the galaxy for centuries. She learned about art forms that could bring peace to warring species. But most importantly, she learned about responsibility. The builders had possessed incredible power, but they had used it carefully. They had never forced their way of life on other species. They had never used their technology to conquer or control. The knowledge comes with a price, Keeper Valen said in her mind. You must promise to use it wisely. You must teach others to use it wisely. You must never let it be used for destruction. I promise, Yuna said. The cave entrance exploded inward as armed soldiers broke through. Vulcan warriors with energy weapons rushed in, followed by human Space Force troops in powered armor. Behind them came soldiers from other alien species, all pointing weapons at each other. Nobody move, shouted a Vulcan commander. This site is under Vulcan authority. Like hell it is, replied a human colonel. That is a human citizen and a human discovery. But before anyone could start shooting, something amazing happened. Yuna's song reached its climax and every weapon in the cave stopped working. The energy weapons went dead. The powered armor shut down. Even the simple projectile weapons jammed. Builder technology does not like violence, Keeper Valen explained to everyone through telepathy. As long as the awakening song continues, weapons cannot function in this space. The soldiers looked confused and angry, but they could not fight without their weapons. They had no choice but to listen. Yuna's song began to change. It became gentler, more welcoming. She was no longer just awakening the crystal mammoth. She was inviting everyone present to understand what the builders had really wanted. Images appeared in the air around them. Holographic scenes of the builder civilization at its height. Cities where different species worked together. Planets healed from environmental damage. Starships that explored the galaxy in peace rather than conquest. This is what we offer, Keeper Valen said to all the assembled soldiers and officers. Not weapons of war, but tools of creation. Not the power to conquer, but the wisdom to build. Commander Thek lowered his useless weapon. The High Command will never accept this. They want builder technology for military purposes. Then they will be disappointed, Yuna said. Her voice sounded different now. Older, wiser, touched by ancient knowledge. The Guardians will only share their gifts with those who promise to use them for the benefit of all life. The human colonel stepped forward. What exactly are you offering? Medical knowledge that could save billions of lives, Yuna replied. Energy technology that could end resource wars. Agricultural techniques that could feed every hungry person in the galaxy. Art and music that could bring different species together in friendship. And all we have to do is promise not to use it for war, asked a Korthic general. More than promise, Keeper Valen said. Prove it. The Guardians will watch how you use their gifts. If you use them for violence or oppression, the knowledge will be taken away. Dr. Tanaka was crying with joy. This could change everything. No more fighting over resources. No more species dying from diseases we could cure. Minho was grinning widely. Yuna, do you realize what you have done? You have just become the most important diplomat in galactic history. But Yuna was not thinking about her new importance. She was thinking about the responsibility. She could feel the weight of builder knowledge in her mind. It was beautiful and terrible at the same time. Beautiful because it could help so many people. Terrible because one mistake could cause immense harm. I will need help, she said. I cannot carry this burden alone. You will not be alone, Keeper Valen said. The Guardians will guide you. And your species has already shown that they can work together when it matters most. As if to prove this point, Jiho holstered his weapon and walked over to Commander. Thek, what do you say we call a truce? Work together to figure out how to use this knowledge responsibly. Commander Thek considered this for a long moment. Then he extended one of his 6 hands to Jiho. A truce, for now. The other soldiers began lowering their weapons as well. The promise of builder knowledge was too valuable to risk losing in a battle. Yuna's song finally came to an end. The crystal mammoth remained glowing, but the light was gentler now. Keeper Valen had transferred all his knowledge and was preparing to rest again. The other guardians are awake now, he said. They are waiting for humans to come and learn their songs, but remember, the knowledge belongs to everyone who will use it wisely. Humans are the key holders, but you must share what you learn. As the crystal mammoth settled back into peaceful slumber, Yuna looked around at all the different species represented in the cave. Vulcans, humans, Korthix, Zentaurians, and others, all of them potential enemies just moments ago. Now they were partners in the greatest discovery in galactic history. So where do we start? She asked. Dr. Tanaka was already making plans. We need to establish a council. Representatives from every major species. We need rules for how the knowledge will be shared. And we need to find other humans who can sing to the Guardians, Minho added. Yuna cannot do this alone. Commander Thek was communicating with his superiors again. But this time, he was not reporting military intelligence. He was describing a new kind of diplomacy. One based on cooperation instead of conquest. Over the following months, the cave on Kethra Prime became the most important place in the galaxy. Ships arrived daily, bringing delegates and scientists from hundreds of worlds. The Council of Guardians was established. With Yuna as its first human representative, more humans were found who could sing to the Crystal Guardians. Each one learned different songs and unlocked different types of knowledge. Medical researchers learned to cure plagues. Engineers learned to build clean energy systems. Artists learned to create beauty that transcended species barriers. The galaxy did not change overnight. There were still conflicts and misunderstandings. Some governments tried to use Guardian knowledge for military purposes and found that it simply would not work for them. Others embraced the new philosophy of cooperation and saw their civilizations flourish, but something fundamental had shifted. For the first time in galactic history, the different species had a reason to work together rather than fight each other. The Builder's final gift was not just knowledge. It was hope. And in a crystal cave on a frozen moon, a mammoth made of ice slept peacefully, knowing that its long wait had finally come to an end. The songs of awakening echoed across the galaxy, and the universe was a little brighter because of them.